All right, hello everybody. Let's begin with our today's webinar. I'm sorry, but somehow my camera, it's lagging quite enormously, so I'm just switching it off this time. But well, I hope it's all right by you. So anyhow, let's begin today's webinar on the topic of SkyWay Technology. Today we're going to see what has done in the world with this new area technology, this 21st century technology, which has come to change our all of our lives. So it doesn't matter where we are from. It's just important to notice that SkyWay will be implemented all around the world in every continent. So therefore, let's see why is it so and what is this all about? What is this technology all about? But first, a little bit about me. My name is Mihkel. I'm from Estonia, and I have been an investor of this technology for about 3 years by now, and I have seen a lot. I have been twice in the SkyWay Demonstration and Certification Center. One is located in Belarus near Minsk, and the other one is located in United Arab Emirates near Dubai, in Sharjah to be exact. So anyhow, we'll go and take a glimpse at first to see what has been done in the United Arab Emirates. And as you can see on this picture, it's just amazing. And this is the first line constructed there. This is fully ready, and it's already well, the certification process is actively going on that rail, both with humans and without humans. So the passengers are also allowed now to take a ride with it. So hopefully when the Expo 2000, well, it's Expo 2020, but it takes place this year, when it starts, then SkyWay is also there. Not hopefully, but SkyWay is definitely there. But hopefully people, visitors of the Expo can also go to Sharjah Innovation Center and see this all with their own eyes and get the experience of driving with it. Yeah, from another picture from another angle here. And then this is the Eco House. And what's amazing about this house is that well, it is fully autonomous. Well, it's meant at least to be fully autonomous in the future. And that means it produces its own electricity, water, temperature. It holds the temperature necessary or needed, as well as the food should be growing there, and it's made out of wood. So this is the first ever wooden house as well that has been built in United Arab Emirates. So first ever wooden house, at least officially built. So that also shows how great relationships we have with our local government there. Just brilliant. And from another angle picture, the same Eco House. And this is the tropical Unicar, the first model that was transported that was taken there. It was firstly it was developed and manufactured in Belarus, and then then they took it there, and now it's thriving there. It's tropical. It's luxurious tropical Unicar, four-seated, and many of the sheikhs have also already had the chance to try with it. So this is amazing. And now this is the latest achievement. This is Unicar, this transportation model is meant to take cargo from one point to another. And this is the first one. This is much smaller than the large one. Well, this sea container especially is the half of the size that will be there as well. So that's why they are building two another tracks at the moment. They both will be 2.4 kilometers long, and one of them is specially meant for sea containers. So there will be, but I will show more pictures and tell you more about it. And this is an animation of I believe this was the 48 person, holds 48 person, this model, both sitting and the standing positions. All right, now let's begin with traditional format of this webinar. We will firstly go a little bit back in the future. We'll see what has been done already, and why, and then we will see the 7 reasons why SkyWay is here to stay and why it's needed. And first, let's go back about 100 years ago, time where one artist pictured a future, as you can see on this slide. And this is actually very true, because when we think about what we have already on the first level, by first level I mean the ground floor, and on the ground floor we have absolutely fantastic infrastructure already produced. Maybe only the self-driving cars that will be there as well will be the next achievement of humankind. But mostly we have all the cars, we have the trams, trolleybuses, trains, and even we have the underground, the subway systems, at least in most of the bigger cities. But what is the thing that's the problems caused by multiple vehicles, or about many vehicles in the traffics and in the cities, that cause traffic jams, for example, accidents and so on. So the problems are not solved, but they arouse more and more over time. And that's why we need another solution. And another solution can only be to go to the second level, and that is to go up. And that's why SkyWay is here. People, of course, have tried it many times and then successfully. We have many different technologies. For example, like on these slides, the train on the high stand road. And then on the right side, we have this monorail technology. But they both are very massive, as you can see on this picture, especially the monorail type, which is more similar to SkyWay, but not the same at all. This is also monorail. And just bear in mind these enormous constructions and the enormous road that it needs, and these supports here, these beton supports, also they are very massive to hold the way of this transportation technology. And then we have this one here. This is from Germany. The picture is made in Germany, and then this drives there, but also, as you can see, the supports behind the red model, they are after every 10 to 50 meters, so they have to be very tightly together, so it can hold this road structure above. And that's why, it's basically impossible to put it inside the city at least. I mean, the buildings on the right and on the left, it's that's why it's on here on the river side, so it doesn't harm the eye as well. Everything is possible, but let's see. Moreover, and this picture is made in China, and this is basically a tramway, but upside down. And by technological aspects, it doesn't different from trams much. And this slide and these pictures describe the technology, which is also very widely used. For example, I have seen it myself in Vietnam, on the island of Phu Quoc, where is the longest track of this technology. Then, of course, I have seen it in Romania, in Turkey. I know that in America there is technology, and many places more. Well, especially in ski resorts, for example. But by technology, this basically describes, or what these pictures are meant to describe, is that there is an engine in the beginning of the track or in the end of the track, and there is just one engine of this, like you can see on the right side, this orange wheel, so to say, and this wheel spins, and therefore the track also moves. But these models, these capsules, which take people on board, those do not move themselves. They do not have engines them. So the only the chain or the track itself moves. That's the thing here about these pictures. And then, of course, the subways, metros, underground systems, which are very expensive to construct. And again, most of the bigger cities already have implemented them. And then in Japan, I have seen a video that's made in Japan, how there are specially hired personnel who pushes people inside the track. Sorry, not track, but the train or the subway. They just push it because there are so many people and they all want to get aboard, and by themselves they cannot just fit there, and so the people will push them from outside of the subway. Well, not very comfortable, I believe, to try with those. And now we'll see. This is SkyWay, and I welcome you to the new age. As you can see on this picture already, this is very neat, very classic, very beautifully architectured and designed technology. And then the reasons, as I mentioned before, we're going to see now. The first reason why SkyWay is that it is innovative. It is fully electrical. There can be solar panels or wind turbines implemented to the track, which can produce the electricity, which is for moving or for loading batteries, for example. And of course the design itself. And never before has humankind or any scientist put these technologies together. They all exist in the world. As you can know, everything exists in the world, but they have never been put together as Anatoli Eduardovich has done it. And here, this is the Unibus, and picture is made. This is the real picture. I think it wasn't. I didn't make it. I think it was by another photographer, but I was also there on that event. And this is the rail. Well, basically, the similar one will be built in the United Arab Emirates as well, in Innovation Center, and the sea containers. So what I want to say with this picture is that with SkyWay, if we compare it with trams or trains, with SkyWay we can drive both above the track and below the track at the same time. But with the train or with the normal or traditional railways, we can only move on the pair of rail in one direction at the same time. So yeah. And then what's special about it is that there are pre-stressed strings, which you can see on the above, well, in the rail track itself above. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 7 strings on this certain picture in one punch. I mean, and 3 punches in both of the rails. This will hold the track. And then there is a special rail head and the body frame, and it's filled with a special filler. And also what's great to understand or know is that we can take, for example, electricity cables or internet cables through the track itself as well. So in Africa, for example, where many of the villages still do not have electricity, we can take it to them via this SkyWay track. And this is also, this picture is made by me, and this was 2 years ago when the event called EcoFest 2019 took place in Belarus. And I got the chance to drive with the Unicar, which you see on the picture in the sky, with that as well. It was about 15-20 meters above the ground, and it's just amazing. You can also see this on video. If you put my name into YouTube, there is one video about 1 minute long or short. which you can see. I recommend it to do it. And the second point is that SkyWay is ecological, and as you can see on this picture, it suits very well with the surroundings. It doesn't harm an eye, and so on. So, and again, on this picture, what I tried to describe a few slides back, that it's possible to try both directions, or well, one directions with the two similar models at the same time, or with, well, like on this picture, one above and the other below. And since it's electrical, it doesn't cause any CO2, at least direct CO2 collision, or yeah, and these technologies, what you can see on the picture at the moment, these will disappear in the near future, or at least in Europe. But wind resistance is meant by this slide. What I want to describe is about the wind resistance, and which is about 10 times less with SkyWay because of the shape of the body. And the second very important aspect to notice is that it has, since it has rails and it's above the ground, the wind can perfectly go beneath the models, and therefore there won't be any screen effect that causes the wind resistance, like with cars. When it drives on the road causes wind resistance. The wind cannot go clearly beneath the car. And of course, many problems with the first level surroundings that are, well, that takes a lot of financials and manpower to clear up and clean, and therefore SkyWay do not have these problems since it's above the ground, and then there's no need for, well, basically the grass can grow and there is no need to clean the path or whatever reasons there might be. And then with this slide, I want to say that well, let's talk about the right side first. Picture on the right side first. This explosion sector is very well developed in Nordic countries like Finland, Sweden, and of course in countries like Italy and so on, where they need to make explosions in the mountains to build new tracks, but it's very expensive. And on the left side, to construct new railroads, for example, or new tracks, we need to dig about 5 to 7 meters below the ground and fill it with special filler, which also has to be taken from somewhere. And we have to clear the whole bath. So if there is a forest, or we know in Estonia there are houses even that basically government buys for cheap money, and then tears down and builds roads through those where basically houses were before. Not in city of course, but in rural areas. So yeah, but with SkyWay, basically sky is limit, as I like to say, and then the track can be lifted even about 100 meters above the ground. So therefore no forest or no mountain, like you can see on this picture. We can take it from the bird site. These tracks just placing supports from one place and the other place. And no river, lake, water is not, well, won't cause any trouble. Yep, traffic jams, new ports that are constantly being built, and of course all the cars that are left, well, unused or are already used and basically are waste metal. So we are causing a lot of troubles with this particular behavior. And of course that's because the economical situation is getting only better in the world, and almost every person who is grown up and have a driver's license can afford at least some car, and therefore the problems still occur and even grow. and we need solution. And solution is here. This is SkyWay. And since we know that the European directives and well, the European Union countries, they are planning to do so that the cars will be left in suburban areas, in special parking places, and then people can take public transportation systems or bikes or scooters or whatever electrical vehicles what by that time exist. They will go with those to the cities or to the workplaces and so on. So they plan to, and at first there will be ban for fossil fuel cars. So these engines which burn fuel, those machines won't be allowed inside the cities. And later on, I believe it's the same thing for electrical cars. So there will be only like transportation technologies like you see on the slides, and therefore SkyWay is a perfect way to solve these issues. Third point is safety. Many people ask about safety. Is it safe? How come it's safe? And so on. And it's almost number one question after people understand that this technology is amazing. But now let's talk about safety. There is a special derailment system and motor wheel which holds it on the track. So if we lift it upside down, it won't fall anywhere. So it will be very stiff, like a spider clings to windows or floor, not floors but ceilings. And there is a 360 degrees eye. Well, this automated intelligence system, which will basically, if any obstacle should arouse or come in the way, it automatically stops and sends information to the station or somewhere to let know what happens. And inside the models, there are also cameras. So if you cross the borders, for example, we can show the passport and then move on. And if anything happens with a model on the track above the ground, for example, then there are many similar models driving on this track, just maybe not at the same time, but if something happens with one model, then the other one has these special elements in front, and in the end, well, each of these unibuses, for example, have these elements which will match with the other model perfectly. And it can either pull or lift it to the maintenance or the station or wherever it's needed to do to transport it. And this picture below, this is a real life picture as well, and they showed us in EcoFest how this works. And if the previous solution wouldn't be possible somehow, maybe the whatever reasons, then we can just pull the like in helicopters or the old knowledge. It's old knowledge already, as we know. We can put it around our waist or our body, the straps, and lift us down. Well, most certainly it's much more safer than driving with this way, right? All right. Fourth point is that we have our own models and products. Many of them are already certified by Russian and Belarus standards, and the certification process already goes on in United Arab Emirates as well. It started in the end of the last year. It started in Europe as well, certification process for its models. And we have our own manufacturing and many bureaus and so on. So this team is doing an amazing job. And these, what you can see on this picture, all these models exist, and I have seen myself them driving the Uniwin, Unibike, Unicars, Unibuses, and the high-speed Unibus as well. But high-speed Unibus, the track which is meant for it, it has to be about 20 to 30 kilometers long. So this one will be constructed. It hasn't been done yet. And it should. They should construct it in the near future in about 1.5 years, 1.5 to 2 years. The track should be ready for high-speed Unibus, and then we can see the speeds up to 500 to 600 kilometers per hour. Here is one picture I have brought out for you, the tropical Unicars in Sharjah, also real picture. And this is Unicar, this is the revolutionary one, and the contract is signed as well in United Arab Emirates between the cities Sharjah and Korfakan, about 100 kilometers long track, which should come for especially for this Unicant. And this also we will see later this year, and in the beginning of next year we will see these tests and certification processes for this Unicant. Right now, that the picture what you saw in the beginning, that one was much smaller, but the track also was a monorail, not the double rail, which comes, as you can see on this picture, how it will look like. And again, two sides at the same time. So if at the moment the trucks, the cars which take sea containers or ships, they will travel about 15 to 20 kilometers per hour average. The average speed is 20 kilometers about, but well, it's because of the pauses they have to take and the naps, so to say, what the truck drivers have to take. And for example, in Italy, on highways, Saturday and Sundays, the days Saturday Sunday are banned for truck drivers. So it's much more difficult and takes much more time with to transport cargo with those nowadays technologies. But with SkyWay, we can take two sides at the same time. We can ride it above and beneath the track. And the other aspect is that the speed is about 90 kilometers per hour, 80 to 90, and the loading process is under 1 minute. Fifth point, why SkyWay? Is that demand for SkyWay is everywhere. And well, we started from the Republic of Belarus. We have made our way to United Arab Emirates, and I know inside the information is that there are already many projects and many people and personnels who are making their way to successfully implement SkyWay in their countries. So there are all people from all different kind of levels. But unfortunately, I myself do not know the exact details about all the projects, and if I know, then I'm not allowed to tell them before the official news will come. Sixth point is that we have a strong and professional team. We have more than 600 workers, many design bureaus, our own manufacturing, as I said. So the work goes on, and Anatoli Yunitsky has created a great team. 7th point is that SkyWay is financially beneficial, and I can see two large groups here. First large group is the customer. Let it be the government or the city or it can be the private sector companies, orders. And this is mainly due to the fact that SkyWay is much cheaper than all the other possible alternatives, and the other aspects I've already told you within this webinar. So it's a great technology. And the second level, very fast inside the city, it can go up to 150 kilometers per hour, for example, and so on. So this is the first side. And the second side is that it's beneficial for investors like me, myself, and many of you, I believe, who have given them money to the company to construct and start this amazing business. And when it goes profitable, it will give dividends to us, to investors. And when it goes to a stock market through IPO, then we can of course share and trade freely the shares we have acquired through the investing. But more about the investing side and all the news also, which I will tell you today, are possible to find in your back offices. All right, and about this project, I already told you, the Korfakan project, a little bit more than 100 kilometers long, and this is just amazing. Then second news, this I already covered you within this webinar, but let's say it again, we will take part in Expo in Dubai. So I recommend all of you to go there and see the SkyWay technology and all this by yourself and with your eyes as well. Then quite recently we were, well, many of different international media reports were made on achievements of SkyWay in the United Arab Emirates. For example, of course, in United Arab Emirates, there were many major news channels that covered and showed this on their television. Also in French, the French television covered us. From India, we were covered. CNN in USA, they showed us, and we were in Australia TV as well, and in Romania, and many others as well. So this is all recent news within a few past months. Just amazing. The Now the Future publication was made about SkyWay certification and targeted projects, which told more about these details and the information, how everything goes, and about that. And they said also that the first contract or the projects should be fully signed by the end of this year, and it sorry, not signed, but it's already signed, but it should the construction should start in the end of this year and end in 2023. And now let's see how it will look like. The linear city mock-up for Expo 2020. And this will be placed in the in the hall where it takes place. There are all different kinds of technologies, and as you can see on this picture, it's just amazing. This is the linear city between which the SkyWay will ride. This is 1 to 15. The measurement was 1 to 20. And also the Construction Week magazine published an article about SkyWay, which was really great. Again, they will cover mainly the new technologies and transportation technologies. All right, we have come to an end. Dalai-lama here is giving his blessing. It was about a few years ago when Anatoli Eduardovich met with the Dalai-lama himself, the great holy man, spiritual man. And Dalai-lama also said that this path which you have taken, this is not easy, but eventually you will succeed in this and will be successful. So therefore, this was the last sentence or the last slide I always like to show people to lift the energies. All right. Next webinar will take place 25th August, the same time. So stay tuned, and until then, go to your back offices and hopefully, share this information, and hopefully we will have more and more people here on these webinars, and we have more and more investors to support the technology, and we will be successful soon. I know that, and therefore I wish you all a great evening and have a nice week ahead of you. All right, goodbye everybody.